Hi, everyone, and welcome back to SHOPLINE Masterclass. In today's topic, we're talking about the holiday season and how you can achieve a high ROAS with this big season coming up. So, it is the biggest money making opportunity of the year for e commerce, hands down. So, we're going to give tips on how you can grab onto this chance and start selling online. Or if you're already selling online, we're going to give you tips on how you can scale your business even faster in this holiday season. So, if this is your first time here, I'm going to give you a brief introduction about SHOPLINE. So Shopline is Asia's biggest smart commerce platform. We offer solutions and services to merchants and we empower them so they can succeed everywhere and anywhere. So Shopline is founded in 2013 and since then we've actually expanded across Asia, having offices in China, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. So we deliver an omni-channel experience to merchants of all sizes to achieve local and international growth together. If you don't know what omni-channel means, it means that you're selling on all the channels as much as possible and you can all be managed within one platform. So this is what Shopline can help you do. And since 2019, Shopline Singapore has helped over 500 merchants set up their online stores. And we work with well-known brands like Lush, Hardy R Hardy, Miniso, and many more. And today we also have a co-host. So Find Niche is a niche finder tool to help businesses, find winning products and look at the business and which products are working now. So you can scale your business as fast as possible. So they have a very accurate database of over 10 million products and they're always updating. So this is a good tool for you to get reference from which products you should sell and looking at trends. So I think Aaron, my partner today, he's going to talk a little bit more about that in his section of the masterclass. So for our speakers today, there's going to be me, Aaron, and Alex. So I'm the head of content. Aaron is the growth marketing manager at Shopline, and we're actually very pleasured to have Alex on to our webinar. He is actually one of Shopline's merchants. He's founder of AtrackSG, and he is basically a live streamer who does social commerce on Facebook and has reached a great amount of success. So we're very happy to have him here to share his story today. And on today's agenda, so we're going to talk about key trends in the e-commerce industry this year. So what's working, what's not, which trend you should really hop on to for you to scale your business to a next level. Key elements, for a profitable startup business. So if you're actually trying to dive into e-commerce but you don't know how to start or how, who can give you tips, I think we can give you really valuable insight in this masterclass. And the third, we're going to talk about AtrackSGs. How are they selling via live stream and how are they reaching success? And then the last part is I'm going to talk about how an e-commerce platform like Shopline can help you sell, preferably an omni-channel solution. So why do people call the end of the year holiday season, right? It's because there are so many holidays packed in together. So on the screen, I've hinted Halloween, you have Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas plus Boxing Day and New Year's. We also have Thanksgiving, before Halloween. So all these holidays are packed in together, and a lot of them are very commercialized holidays. So like Halloween, you buy costumes, you buy candy. It's a commercialized holiday. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are basically just events where people want to buy stuff. There's not really much context behind these holidays, but for you to purchase things on a good deal, that's basically it. Christmas and Boxing Day, I would say the same, even though there is more of a traditional background behind it. But it has become very commercialized where it's more about buying stuff for your peers and getting a good deal on Boxing Day, right? So all these holidays, put together at the end of, the last 3 months really gives people a lot of urge to buy. So that's what at the end of the year, usually retail businesses are having higher GMV, higher revenue at the end of the year because there are more commercialized holidays for people to shop at and people are listening, people are buying because it's on good deals and you have to end of the year exchanging gifts. It's a tradition. So it's kind of been embedded into people's mind that at the end of the year, I have to spend money. All right. So how do you define your success of an e-commerce business? You have to get your stats together. Okay. So when I was an e-commerce merchant myself, these 6 stats are basically what I use to determine my success. So the first 3 I'm going to talk about is very business end, and the second half is very e-commerce website end. So the first thing, of course, is sales and GMV, right? How much sales am I doing day in and day out, per month, per week, per year? I have to know. It's one of the easiest measures of success, right? So if I could do, $50,000 a month, that's success for me, right? And if I want to scale up and the numbers keep growing, I can measure that success easily. The second point I will talk about is profit. Out of all this sales you're doing, how much is actually profitable, right? How much are you actually making from all these sales? And is there wiggle room around it, right? Can I shot the price up a little bit more? Do I need to tone it down because it's affecting a lot of my other conversion rates, time on site, and stuff like that? And the third thing I want to talk about is which products actually sell. So for a drop shipper or for a regular e-commerce merchant, there are usually one or two products that sell exceptionally well on your site, and those are kind of like the base builders for your e-commerce store. So with clothing, with my previous experience with clothing, I would put a lot of my emphasis on dresses because dresses usually sell year round long, no matter what, right? It's better to sell than a hoodie, a sweater. So when I was doing my business as a fashion merchant, yoga, like activewear and dresses, is what I would look onto to make these products bestsellers because they do sell well. So these are the first three success I will talk about. That is the business side. And the next three stats are more for your website, your e-commerce website. The first thing is conversion rate. It's very important, people. Conversion rate actually matters. So an average conversion rate of, I would say, 2 to 2.5% is considered an average store. If you could reach around 4 or 5%, you were at the cream of the crop. Your e-commerce store is built well, it's functioning well, people like your products, you're doing everything the way you're supposed to do. The next thing I look on is time on site because it is a website, right? So time on site, it translates to how much products they're looking at, right? If they're looking at your dresses, your yoga pants, like I talked about, are they looking at your about us? Like, are they reading about your brand? Are they looking at your blogs? This all contributes back to time on site, and if they're here long enough, it will go back to the first point, which is the conversion rate. They will convert if they're here long enough. And the third thing I would talk about is how many people are adding products to their carts, right? Because it means, when you look at that perspective, it means that they're interested in your products, but why are they not taking the last step? Is it because there is a bug at your website that it doesn't convert well? Do they need to redirect to check out? Is it a pricing problem? Are you too expensive? Is shipping too expensive? So these factors all factor into your add to carts, right? So conversion rate, time on site, and how many people are adding products to the shopping carts. This is my measure of success for an e-commerce site. The next thing I want to talk about is the number of, not number, but the section of e-commerce sellers. So e-commerce is actually a big sphere, right? Like an industry. But there are people who sell in different sectors. So there are the brand.com people, right, who build their websites and they only sell on websites. And then there are people who only sell on marketplaces like Shopee and Lazada. And then some people like Alec, they sell on social media, right? They live stream, they post shoppable posts, they try to grow around the social media area, and it's comfortable for them and they can make a lot of profit off of it. And then the last type of people I want to talk about is they're the new up and coming ones. They're the chat commerce sellers. So people who sell on WhatsApp, people who sell online, people who sell on WeChat in China, right? These are all they are social media sellers, but they lean more towards a chat commerce seller where they're actually they're chatting with people online to try to make the sales. This is more traditional salesman type sales, but it does work. People have made a lot of sales on social media chat bots, like people who sell in China through WeChat. And I've categorized on my next slide. I've categorized all the big products categories in Singapore. So these four categories mainly sell well in Singapore. So the first one is consumer electronics. Consumer electronics usually sell very well in Asia. So whether it's just phone cases, USB cables, chargers, these things are cheaper in Asia to produce, so they have a lower price, and people tend to buy a lot more of them. The next thing I want to talk about is toys. So toys, DIY, so do it yourself products, and hobbies like chess games and stuff like that, they sell really well too because they actually target a younger audience. And with younger audiences, they tend to come back a lot more for toys because they have to, parents have to buy them toys, to get them to calm down most of the time. So, and as they grow up, they buy different categories of toys, right? So when you're a kid, you might want to buy a Barbie, but when you start growing up, you don't want the Barbie anymore. You want like a kitchen set. So it's very different, and there's a lot of room in that industry. And the next thing I want to talk about is fashion and beauty. So like I've said before, fashion is actually one of the biggest e-commerce categories in the world. So I think around 30% of global e-commerce merchants actually are fashion merchants. So the competition is huge. People try to sell at a low price just to get a competitive edge, but a lot of people have found success, by selling the right products. Because fast fashion does flip so fast, having an eye for what you want to sell is actually the most important part in fashion. And with personal care, this is pretty straightforward. It's more about, for personal care, I think it's more about selling toward branded stuff. So big brands usually work a lot well with personal care than the other three first categories I've talked about, where it can be a price battle rather than a brand battle. And one of the biggest trends that we have this year is actually cross-border commerce. So I think with COVID, digitization, it has brought the world a lot closer, right? So 73% of online consumers in Singapore have bought stuff from overseas merchants. So Singapore shouldn't think of themselves as an individual, market. In the e-commerce sector, they are buying stuff from overseas, and they are shipping it here. So do not just look at Singapore's market, look at the entire world, look at the big picture. And presently, cross-border e-commerce takes 35% of the entire Singapore e-commerce market. So 35% of the Singapore market is also dictated by cross-border commerce, which is a big part of it. Whether you're importing or exporting, it is a big portion of Singapore's market. And the last thing I want to talk about before I pass it on to Aaron is shoppable live streaming. So this has actually originated from China, and it has been extremely popular. People are selling everything on social media via live stream now in China. They're selling shoes, they're selling crackers, they're selling pets. It's just because it's very interactive. They can be in there for 2-3 hours, attract a lot of people. And with a lot of these live streaming algorithms, is the longer people tune in, the more traffic and audience they're going to push to you. So if you can live stream for 2-3 hours and people are watching for an hour, you're going to gain a huge audience that you have never seen before. And I think that's why live streaming works right now for a lot of people. You don't need to have a base, or you don't need to do a lot of ads. Sit down for 2-3 hours, live stream, get good content, be interactive with your audience, and then you can start selling well, right? So it actually mimics to when I was a kid, home shopping TV shows where there was a guy on TV, selling you a blender, and you have to call them, to interact with them. But it's a new era. People love live streaming, and I think even in the US, it's becoming very new. It is a great way to tackle the market right now if you're interested in live streaming selling. Yeah, so that's all for my first part. I'm gonna pass it on to Aaron for his part.
All right, thanks, Tim. So yeah, it's my pleasure to be here. I'm Aaron. I'm the Growth Marketing Manager at SHOPLINE. So yeah, I'm going to be sharing about the key elements for a profitable startup business. So yeah, as Tim mentioned, holiday season is one of the biggest periods in a year for merchants to sell online, right? I think that some merchants, they even generate more revenue than the rest of the year combined. So that's definitely something that we should take advantage of and try to start selling online. So I want to talk about the key elements. So this is something that I already mentioned in a previous webinar. So there are actually 3 key elements, right? So the first one is the product, content, and technical. So first of all, it's about the product. It accounts for 50% of your success, of your online success. Why I'm saying that, because basically, when you're making your product, you're basically doing your whole business. You're doing marketing, you're doing sales, you're doing customer service. Why am I saying this? Because when you're finding a new product, or you are building your product, you basically have to, look at the customers. You have to find the customers, understand the insights, the demand, and also do some kind of segmentation. And you have to, know the income, all those things like demographic, geographic, and everything, in order to actually give them, make the product that can meet their standard, that meet their demand, right, and offer them the product. So all in all, I think that when you're doing the product, it accounts for 50% of the business success already. And then the next section I want to talk about is content. So it's not just about Facebook ad content or anything like that. I'm talking about the whole thing, the message that you're delivering to the customers, how you spread the words out, how you deliver the message, right? So usually there would be two ways to deliver your content, right? So the first one can be rational. For example, if you're selling men's fashion, then you can address and so for example, if you're selling men's fashion, basically you need to, address and try to um, talk about all the features, all the quality, and to in order to meet the demand of the customers, right? So it can be about the quality of the product, it can be about the fabric, the images, and everything. Or if you approach it in a emotional way, then you could talk about how it feels when you're wearing it, or how it makes you to become, right? Like it shows just the status when you're wearing it, right? All right, so the last factor is technical, which accounts for 10% only. So even though, yeah, I think that right now, when with the advance of all the channels out there like Facebook ads, Google ads, and everything, like they can just automatically optimize your advertising campaigns and your marketing campaigns by themselves, right? We don't really need to touch too much on the technical front. However, even though it is the last of three, you can never carry it out because sometimes this can be the difference maker. You know that, for example, you're selling a product that is super good, super great, and it meets the customer's demand, and you're also having a very great content. Those factors can be copied very easily by your competitors. So we've seen some situations that when someone is selling something that is really nice, and then just about 2 or 3 weeks later, that's going to be the exact same product, the exact same content on the market. So when that comes to how you're doing the technical front, that is the difference maker. That is the game decider for the long term competition. So I'm going to be going into details about all of these three factors. So the first one is about the product market fit. Why is it important? So obviously it's a sales, right? When you have the product market fit, then it means that you meet the demand of your customers. And yeah, so basically you build the right product to solve the customer's need to the right people, right? So that's the first one. The second reason why it is important is because of the customer base. You can grow your customer base. Because at the end of the day, when you achieve product market fit, it means that your product is unique. It is unique and it can fulfill a need and delight your customers, which will naturally and organically contribute to the growth in customers' base. So the third one is organic growth. So basically, it means that when you have a good product and it is fit to your market, then word of mouth comes into play, right? So people, your customers, they can refer to their friends, their family, their coworkers, and yeah, this word of mouth promotion enhances your brand presence in the market and also helps establish your brand as a leader in your industry, right? So organic growth is definitely the ultimate goal for a product market fit target. So in the next slide, I want to talk about how to find the right product. So usually, what people would say is to combine the three things together: products that you like, products that you know about, and the products that are profitable, aka product market fit. Right? So it's always easier said than done. But yeah, so is actually the truth. But in order to do that, you just need to gradually learn how to look for the trends, how to look for the hot products, and just combine all those things together, and you will eventually find it. So Usually, I would recommend using some tools to help you with this. So one of the most popular tactics that people do is just go to TikTok or go to Facebook or Instagram and see how others are selling, what is the trending videos right now, and based on that trend, based on that advertisement on those platforms, you can actually find out what the product is to sell. Um, so actually, in this webinar, I would like to give you guys a bit of demo for Fineage tool. So it is a very popular tool among online merchants. It helps you to find the winning products and the most trending products among Shopify stores and AliExpress stores. So I'm just gonna do a demo real quick on this one. Okay, so as you can see, this is the homepage of Fineage. So you can choose a range of categories for the AliExpress stores or Shopify stores. So first one, let's just look at AliExpress. So I'm just going to go on to the top charts. So you can see that we can it shows us all the products with top orders, top growth in the last 30 days or 7 days, right? So this is based on the number of orders, and yeah, it's pretty straightforward with the winning products right now. So these products are most likely to be the winning products, right? So you can take a look at this and choose the right product for you. So if you want to do like the advanced filter, I would definitely recommend using this filter of Fineage. So you know that you can have a bunch of categories to choose from. So first of all is the categories for the product. So food, home appliances, computer and office, things like that. And you can just choose one. And then, yeah, you can obviously choose and select the price range, total orders, and shift to what country. Yeah, so there's also some advanced filters and tags, right? So you can actually choose from that. And yeah, you can see that there's the list of products here with order trends, 7-day orders, and total orders. This is pretty straightforward for you to find out what product to sell. The same thing happens for Shopify. So you have Shopify database. Basically, it also shows you the top winning products among Shopify stores worldwide, right? So again, that for example, this product, the store is in the United States and selling distressed jeans, right? It's a pretty interesting product with a price of 64 and a 7-day orders, 7-day revenue, Facebook ads, and everything. So this can actually help you, first of all, to find the product, and second of all, you can also look at how others are selling this product, right? So for example, if I click on this, it can also, it can actually shows you the ads, the Facebook ads that are selling for, that are advertising about this product. So that is a quick demo about Fineage. There are also some other stuff, right? For example, Shopify stores. You can see what stores are the best performing stores on Shopify in which country, right? So you can choose to select the countries here on different categories and how many products they are selling. So all these things can be very helpful for you especially when you're starting out and you don't know what to sell and you don't know what to do with your advertising campaigns. So the next part, I'm going to be talking about the content. So as I share, content accounts for 40% of your success. It's important because it decides the message that you are spreading out to your customers, your target audience, right? So in order to make a good content, the most important thing is that you have to know your customer. You have to know their pain points. You have to know what they're struggling with, right? And then after that, content plays as a role of the solution for your customers. So for example, if you're selling, again, an example of selling t-shirt, so you need to know that, okay, so why do they need to buy your product, right? What is the things that make your product stand out from others, right? So answer those kind of questions in order to write the good content, right? So rational and emotional, those examples I shared earlier, you can apply. So for rational content is about sharing with the customers the features, what their product does, and how it can help you with all the things, right? So from materials to the quality of the product to the pricing and everything. So those are the rationals front. And the next one is about emotional. So it is important to have some emotional feelings, emotional content into your copies. So yeah, talk about how it helps the customers in terms of so talk about how it feels when wearing that product, how it feels when using this product, and how can this product can help you to in terms of social status and things like that. Right. So the last part is about ad channels and technical front. So these days there are many channels to sell. So you just need to find the one that you're most confident with. So I've talked about Facebook ads and Google ads in many of the webinars previously. So you just need to make sure that you understand your metrics, you know what is the good ROAS for you, and you allocate your budget accordingly. So for this webinar, I want to talk more about organic channels and testing the product. Right. So the first part is organic channels. So you know that these days for social media is becoming more and more flooded with advertising campaigns. People tend to look for live streaming. People tend to look for recommendations from communities and short videos of influencer reviewing the products, right? So they tend to look for more authentic experience rather than all the advertising campaigns out there. So live streaming, short videos, community, KOL, all those things are playing a much more important role than previous days, right? So Alex is gonna be sharing with you more about live streaming. So all in all, I think that it's never a bad initiative to focus on organic channels. Okay, so that's all I want to share about the elements of the winning business. So back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much, Aaron. So for our next part, we're gonna have Alex share with us, his own experiences and his case study of how to develop a good live streaming business. So I'm gonna pass it over to Alex.
Hello， 大家好 ，Good morning 呀，认识我吗？可能有些人会认识我，可能有些还没认识我。我就是那个 live streamer，OK，在 Facebook 我们有卖很多很多的产品。当然，我们本身自己已经创业了大概20年 ，OK， 我们自己有自己的店面，售卖我们自己的产品，那也就是主打的就是我们的袜子，跟女生的这些丝袜之类的都有，所以说很多很多东西，20年了走来不容易。其实这个说来哇话很长，我们其实我们的生意已经大概有20年左右了。刚开始当然也是卖了很多很多的产品，到了最后近15年，我们也 stick 在我们的产品，就是我们的袜子怎么会做直播呢 ？I think 全世界的人都知道，因为这个疫情那个 COVID-19 是被逼的，不是我愿意的。因为讲真的，做直播不容易了，面对这镜头好像这样子，真的是我本身是比较内向的，讲真的，所以说真的是没有话讲，是我所说的被逼不得已要一直训练自己讲很多话，介绍自己的产品这些东西。其实这20年我们也开了蛮多店面的，就是陆陆续续开了开，关了关，因为合约上跟人潮方面，所以说我们也大概有10间左右吧。到了今天因为 COVID 的关系，我们就只剩1间在那个 North Point 那一带，就是卖袜子。其实我怎么会做直播也是一样，说来话很长。当然第一就是有3点第一就是真的是靠朋友的鼓励下，因为那时这个疫情 right as I mentioned， 人就是没有办法，一定要生存，连朋友的鼓励下敢出来做直播。 刚开始当然我什么都不敢啊，因为我都讲了我是蛮内向的，跟着一个电话这样子讲话那是不可能的，对不对？所以说朋友一而再再而三的一直鼓励，所以说也被他感动了。能再加上政府的号召力，他说要向科技来学习，说我们也派了admin，我们的就是我太太去学这门科技，所以说全部累积起来，连我们就开始我们的第一步做直播呀。当然一开始做直播是对我来说是没有那么容易的，当然是很多的问题 ，OK， 连怎样去克服这些问题呢？当然就是通过朋友。周围的朋友，因为他们懂得怎样做直播，怎样去操作这个运作啦，这个 Facebook 就给我们完全都得力是零 ，OK， 就算哪怕是一个点我们都不会，都需要问朋友。最重点当然是朋友的鼓励下啦，这个是最重要的那个部分。当然我们也上网了去查，去上课，怎么来学怎样做直播这个东西咯。在直播当然。重点就是售卖我们的产品，至于怎样找这些产品呢？因为我们本身自己 before 这个直播，我们大概也是有10多年的经验，我们自己有我们自己的那些商家、厂家都在外国，世界各地啦都有，不多啦，可能中国、香港、泰国、越南这几个国家，我们都有自己的那个厂家，所以说货源方面并不是有很大的问题咯。当然怎么会找到这个 SHOPLINE 哇，这个真的要感谢一个人呢，真的，因为之前我们是完全没有用到这种所谓的系统system， 因为刚开始做直播真的营业额也不是说很好，我们都是用 menu 用手这样抄一个一个，直到最后可能给一个商家就是 SHOPLINE， 他们发现到了，我们就来 approach 我们说，要不要用他们的这个系统咯？所以我们也考虑了很久。那时因为 SIC 还没有用系统，我们真的是很忙，所以说也没有去回复那个 salesman 到底要不要。这个 salesman 真的很死缠烂打，一直在找我们，到最后我们终于联络上他了，他也找上我们了。OK， 就这样子开始我们的第一步，到今天真的用了系统之后，哇！我跟你们讲。真的是可以用那个字来形容，一个天一个地，真的轻松很多了，完全不用拿笔了，全部都是用电脑来操控，真的是太容易了，这一点真的。而且所说的那个 salesman 是谁呢？就是当然是 SHOPLINE 里面的其中一个 salesman， 他叫做凯瑞，他真的帮了我们很多，能有多少真的讲不完。我就记得有一次。刚刚认识他的时候，就是签了合约跟他们有一次他出国出国读书，他在 UK， 因为时间跟我们这里是不一样的，所以我们也忘了那个时候我们早上直播那边是半夜，所以我们碰到了问题，打给他，他正在睡觉，他真的起来帮我们，所以我们觉得这一点真的是让他感动了我们，真的。当然除了那一次还有很多我们有什么问题我们都会找他，他真的很乐意，而且很有耐心的在帮我们这一点，真的到今天有史以来我们还是要感谢他，他就是凯瑞，真的。其实这一点我完全没有操心，你问我的话，我会觉得说我就做回我自己，我就是这样的风格。如果你要抄袭别人，哇，要做得很专业，很怎样 right？ 我觉得会很辛苦咯。因为你做直播就是每天要讲话，你还要做成伪装另外一个人，我觉得是辛苦的。所以说从头到尾到今天，我就是用我自己的那种风格来做了，这样子会比较真因为顾客的眼睛是雪亮的，他们看得出你是真的或者是假的。所以说并不担心这一点，就做回自己，这个才是重点。OK， 至于这方面说大不敢当啦，就很小其实每天都不一样啦。那个帮我们的有时会3位到4位，有时会高达6、7位吧。 因为有时候我们做直播，讲真的，有时会通过我们自己的 office 在那边做直播，大概是3-4位人在帮我们，就是所谓的 admin。当然幕后也有，幕后就是我们在店里面的同事们，他们有时也会在那边帮我们回复顾客的讯息。因为有些产品会在店面，他们需要去量、去穿，所以说让我们线上的顾客马上知道那个答案哦。这个问题 I think 最重要的部分就是要看个人的那个眼界眼光，还有自己的经验。OK， 东西产品能在市场上耐多久，这个就是要看市场上的需求啦。这个东西会有人买吗？会的话，当然就会比较长久。OK， 至于了解顾客这方面我们怎么知道我们的顾客群他会跟我们买什么东西？就是要我们对他们的了解。其实说真的，我们的顾客我们都很了解他们的，所以说就在这方面，我们就会引进那些产品过来给他们就是做参考了。他们喜欢，他们就会买。其实还有一点，因为我所说的，我们跟我们的顾客已经是很熟了。有时我们会做一个所谓的一个 posting 啦，就是问顾客你们喜欢什么产品，你们可以直接跟我们讲，我们觉得 OK， 我们就会从外地带进来，这样子，就会比较他们。就会拿他们喜欢的产品过来了，这样子会比较好。当然，怎样去看这个产品好不好卖？当然，我们有2大点。第一，因为我们是有 retail 有店面的，店面那边当然是会根据我们的同事来跟我们讲，因为他们跟顾客的接触会比较多。说顾客的要求，他们的需求，通常他们都会跟我们的那个同事们讲，有没有这类的，有没有这类的？说经过这一方面，我们的同事也会跟我们说，我们就会去带一些他们顾客所需要的这些产品。这个是在店面，所以说跟直播是不一样。直播这方面 right 当然我们也有做那个市场调查，市场好像我们去到哪里都会看说，现在流行什么。我们觉得 OK 好卖，我们就会带进来。数据方面，当然我们是要通过这个 system， 就是 SHOPLINE 这边来看到底这个东西，这个月的业绩，这个产品卖了多少。好的话，我们就会一直在进来。当然不好的话，刚才所说的，可能还是会进，因为需求还是有的，就是量就没有那么的多。OK， 当然SHOPLINE 帮了我们很多的那个东西，由于在那个 Plus One 那个细节啦，这个已经是足以帮了我们很多。当然 SHOPLINE 它本身还有其他的管道能够增加我们的营业额，那就是他们有一个叫做 Web Store。就是我们可以把我们所有的产品放进去这个 Web Store， through 那边顾客不一定说要看我们的直播，下线的时候他们可以直接进去我们的 Web Store 就可以购买他们我们的全部的产品。through 那边就是很简单，因为 SHOPLINE 他们的很容易用啦，就是 through 那边只要你一 click 什么都 OK 了，很简单。当然接下来这10年我们有什么目标肯定是有的。做生意不可能不想接下来10年会有什么目标的。当然在这个时候你问我的话，怎样去扩大？当然就是现在我们有在 Facebook 做直播，当然 OK， 在这1-2个月里面，我们也接洽了蛮多的商家，就是所谓的也是直播，就是 TikTok、Instagram 这些东西，我们都有在跟他们合作。如果直播做不下去，我会怎么办？当然我们会回去我们的 retail， 因为我们本身就是有店面的，大概有20年的经验了，所以说也不担心。我们会回去可能会开多几家的这些店面来卖我们的产品。就是直播。当然我们还有那个 web store 在 SHOPLINE， 这个我跟你讲不简单，每天的营业额都不错的，所以说有这个 Web Store， 再接下来我们就回去我们的这个就是所谓老本行啦，可能开多几家店面吧，这样子再操作啦，再做。 OK， 做直播 right， 其实我想鼓励那些还没有出来做直播的朋友们，真的敢出来做直播，因为直播能够带给你们不只是赚钱，你们还会有很多欢乐在直播线上，真的你们会很开心的。当你们做到一个程度的时候，你们跟顾客已经不是顾客了，已经是你们的朋友了，所以说是蛮开心的一件事。真的哈，所以说我也讲了，做直播没有年龄层的限制的。你看，安哥都能出来做的，你们自己都看得到的。在直播这个平台 ，right， 有的比我年龄更大，甚至很年轻的10多岁都有。所以说你们不要想那么多，敢出来做。OK，practice make perfect， 真的好。
Thank you, Alex, for sharing your insights with us. We wish you the best of luck with your business, and we hope you continue to achieve success and hit new targets in your business. But at the final section of our webinar, of our masterclass, I want to talk about how a e-commerce platform, preferably an omni-channel platform, can help you. So when we're talking about starting your own business and how to make it profitable, I have 4 things that I think SHOPLINE can help you with. So the first thing is building an online store. So for a lot of people who already have experience with e-commerce, I think that store building is pretty basic, in across all platforms. But I think we have it down to the best because our themes are all free. So we have industry leading templates, 50 of them, and they're all free. Whereas other platforms, charge you, $200, $300 for themes, and it's easier to build. It's a drag and drop. And now with our newest feature, you can add sections that are not available in your theme. So you can use your theme as a good layout and framework, but if you want to add individual parts that are not included in your theme, you can also do that as well. So I think this is very new. It's very helpful for a lot of merchants because you can actually customize your store the way you want now, and you won't be restricted by the theme you pick. And the next thing I think we can help with is for people who are starting their business is product sourcing. So we have an app store in SHOPLINE with over 100 apps, and we have around 12 to 14 apps that can help you with product sourcing. So a way you can do this if you are starting your business is you can use Find Niche, review all the niches you want to dive into, and then download one of our apps that links to AliExpress, and you can just import the products over with a click of a button, and you can start selling right away with SHOPLINE, build your store, and then eventually you can sell in other sales channels as well, because that's what an omni-channel platform like SHOPLINE helps your business with. So with product sourcing, I think the SHOPLINE App Store helps you a lot because there's a lot of different apps you can reference. Some of them you can directly import from AliExpress. Some of them do customization. So if you're a print-on-demand business and you want to start that as well, we have apps that help you as well, and they're all. Some of these apps are developed in-house, so you won't have configuration problems, you won't have syncing problems. Everything works well. And the second last part I want to mention is cross-border commerce. So in the beginning, I've talked about it, that 35% of Singapore's e-commerce market is cross-border commerce, whether it's imported or exported. So look at it at the big picture. Singapore is definitely a great country, but if you can have a chance to sell abroad, it's of course better because you're touching different markets. You can generate more GMV, etc., etc. And if you want to sell into preferred destinations, we have local payments and logistic options. So like in Singapore, we work with Atomi, we have Easy Parcel. And then when we're talking about China, we have Ocean Payment, which is one of the biggest payment providers in China. And we have OneShip. This is our in-house, logistics company that helps you sell into different areas of the country as well. And don't forget that SHOPLINE also allows you to sell in multiple currencies and languages, making you easier, when you're trying to target different regions around the world. So if you want to sell in Spanish, sell in euros, and if you want to sell, in China, sell in Chinese, and then use their localized payment processors and currencies, so it's easy for you to do that as well. And then for my last part, I want to talk about the different sales channels that SHOPLINE provides, because I think this is one of the biggest features that we have that is very strong and I think can help a lot. So Usually, an e-commerce platform will allow you to sell on an e-commerce platform, which is your website and social media at most. We have those two. We have you can build your own brand.com, which is your website. You can sell on social media as well, which is social commerce, right? When we were talking about live streaming, shoppable posts, you can do that as well. But you can also sell on marketplaces with Shopline. So you can manage your inventory with Shopline, and you can sell on Shopee, Lazada. And now we've also opened a new post system, which we're going to have a masterclass about that as well, as if anyone is interested in. Please let us know. We're going to start that early September. But yeah, you can sell. So if you have a brick and mortar store and you're trying to transition online, we have a post system for you as well. And now we've just also have a new feature, which is the buy button. So if you're writing a lot of blogs, doing a lot of external links, organic traffic, you can also have the buy button to help you, process checkout in different areas as well. So we are an all-in-one solution for your e-commerce business, and we do it with pride. We make sure that you can touch all the touch points of a business, and you can convert with Shopline. So with Shopline, all your inventory, all your products can be synced in one place. This is what an omni-channel solution is about. You're not managing inventory, independently with different channels. You're doing it all in one platform. So with one hand, one mouse, one mobile, you can control your Shopline app, and you can control your business. You can streamline your business. You can grow way bigger. Well, this leads us to the end of our Shopline Masterclass. I thank Aaron, as always, for always being here as my guest. And I also thank Alex, who's here to share his insight, his experience with live streaming to all of you guys. I hope this has been a very informative session. So to learn more about approved packages or whether Shopline is the right e-commerce platform and partner for your business, you may request a one-to-one detailed demo on Shopline and find out how we can help you on your e-commerce journey. Don't forget, people, holiday season is coming up. You have to start selling. Let's make the big bucks at the end of the year. So one of our consultants will be in touch with all of you at the end of our webinar and to learn more about your business. With all that being said, thank you for listening to our second Shopline Masterclass. We hope you've enjoyed it, and there's going to be a lot more to come. So like I previewed earlier, we're going to have a Shopline Masterclass about a post system and how that can help you with your brick and mortar business. So if anyone is interested in that, please let us know. We will set that up as soon as possible. But thank you all again, and we hope to see you in the next Masterclass.